Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Last Mac podcast. I'm your host, Primal, and in today's episode, we're going to be going through the final week of qualifiers before Major 3 next week on Friday. So, guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it, and let's crack on into things. So, let me just show you where I am in the rankings and how I did last week. So here's where I'm ranked right now for the season entirely. We aren't too far off of really breaking into the top 50 or better. And finally, for Major 3, it's like, we did have some goof ups and stuff, so yeah. Alright, now let me show you what my predictions were for last week. So, hold on a second. Sorry about that, guys. So last week we went 9-1. As you guys can see here are my predictions from last week. The only one we did get wrong was on I almost called it Championship Sunday, but it was on Sunday, and that was the G2 versus Heretics series. But overall, we went 9-1. I'm pretty happy with the results from last week. Wish it was a flawless 10-0 for performance-wise, but it is what it is, guys. I'm happy with it. So now let's roll into the final week. So here we go. Heretics versus Falcons. I'm going to take Heretics over Falcons. I'll give Falcons a map. And hold on a second. So I've got 2 boosts to use for the rest of this split, so I'll use them once I've got my predictions locked in. So I've got Heretics taking this 3-1. Maybe Falcons get an upset, like if they park the bus and do their old overload strats, then maybe, but we'll see what happens. But I've got more faith in Heretics. Now, OpTic versus Showmates. I'm going to go with OpTic. This could get a little dicey, but I'm going to say OpTic gets it done pretty convincingly in 4. And it's already point boosted, so there we go. Now, Toronto Koi versus Vancouver Surge. I'm going to take Koi over Surge. I'll give Surge a map, but I just have more confidence in Koi, really. Thieves versus Ravens. Thieves, I'm going to call a 3-0 slam. They keep doing their belt to ass routine and keep performing. FaZe versus OpTic. This one I'm going to have to go with OpTic just because FaZe the last weekend, they didn't look too convincingly, but I'm going to say if FaZe put up a fight, this could go 5. If FaZe don't put up a fight, this could be a bloody 3-0, like, straight up massacre, but in favor of OpTic. It's like, I want to poll for FaZe, but it's just, the respawns from FaZe last weekend were atrocious, and I just don't know how I feel about them going up against OpTic to finish off their qualifiers. So, yeah. Now, Boston Breach versus G2. I am going to take G2 over Breach. I'm going to say G2 gets it done in 4. Maybe Breach steals a map, but I just have more faith in G2. Now, Cloud9 versus Falcons. I'm going to say Falcons 3-1 over Cloud9. Maybe Cloud9 gets an upset map win, but Falcons just feel stronger on the power level wise than Cloud9 because Cloud9 doesn't get the scrim sets that the other pro teams do just because the other pros don't want to face them and stuff. So, yeah. Now, let's crack on into the final Sunday before the major. Heretics versus Showmates. I'm going to say Game 5. Oh, who do I have more faith in Search and Destroy? Heretics or Jailmates? I'm going to go with Heretics on this one, just see. Ooh, okay, so I would be calling for the upset. I just feel like Heretics just have a, once they upset FaZe, like maybe they could upset Jailmates, but I'm just not too sure right now. But that's my thoughts right now. That could change. If it does, I'll just mention it in next week's podcast. So be on lookout for that, guys. G2 versus Thieves. Thieves, I still say they're going to be doing their belt to ass routine, 3-0ing G2. It could get a little dicey. Like if, you know what, I'll just throw a map to G2 if Colossus somehow gets into the map pool. And finally, Cloud9 versus Koi. This one, I'm just going to say 3-1, just be safe. Now, where do I want to put my points? I'll put it on Thieves versus Carolina. And I'll put it on Heretic. Yeah, I'll put it on Heretics versus Falcons. So there we go, guys. Those are my predictions. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else for podcasts and for all competitive Call of Duty League news. Have a great night, guys. Peace out.